Go Keselowski and
Back
Blaney.
up. If these guys go, it's fine. We just got to get to the line. Just got to get to the line.
The line is now in sight. Off turn 4 comes William Byron. Does he have enough? You betcha he does!
William Byron did something wild at Iowa Speedway last Sunday. People thought he'd lose again after 2 tough races, but this time, he didn't back down. He took a big risk with fuel and stayed calm while others panicked. What happened in those final laps left everyone speechless. It wasn't just a win, it was a message to every driver in NASCAR. The pressure was on after 2 tough losses due to fuel strategy, one at Michigan, another at Indianapolis. The spotlight was getting hotter. Speed hadn't been the issue, but closing out races had. With the regular season standings tightening, this wasn't just another race, it was a chance to change the narrative. A win at Iowa, especially on a track known for its unpredictability, would mark a significant turning point. And that's exactly what he delivered. The race began smoothly enough, with Byron dominating early and leading the first 67 laps of a caution-free opening stage. His car was balanced, the grip was perfect, and he had the rhythm down. But then, the race transformed into a strategy nightmare. A barrage of unexpected cautions in Stage 3 turned the final stretch into a chess match of pit timing, tire management, and fuel mileage. Byron's crew chief, Rudy Fugle, made a bold call. Stretch the fuel for the last 144 laps. No pit stop, no safety net, just pure calculated risk and trust in the driver's ability to execute. It was a move that had backfired before, but this time, everything clicked. With drivers like Chase Briscoe and Brad Keselowski breathing down his neck, Byron held the line with nerves of steel. Each lap ticked by with growing tension. Behind the scenes, Fugle was crunching numbers, estimating fuel flow, watching telemetry, and praying the calculations were right. Byron, calm and focused, managed the throttle with surgical precision. He cut the corner entry just right, coasted where needed, and resisted the urge to push too hard. From 30 to go until 8 to go, we were able to save a really big chunk and get close, Fugle said after the race. And then you're just hoping you pick everything up. Briscoe, who had started on pole and felt he was in position to capitalize, couldn't close the gap. I thought I was really in the catbird seat there. I just got there and kind of stalled out, he admitted. His tires began to wear down, and the expected fade never came from Byron. Byron crossed the finish line 1.192 seconds ahead of Briscoe. It was his second win of the season after his Daytona 500 triumph and the 15th of his career. More importantly, it launched him past Hendrick Motorsports teammate Chase Elliott to the top of the Cup Series standings, a huge psychological and strategic advantage going into the final stretch of the season. For Byron, it was more than a win. It was validation. I really feel we needed to win a race, he said. We deserve to win a race. His tone wasn't cocky, it was confident, grounded in the reality of his team's performance and perseverance. But the victory was more than a stats boost. It completed an Iowa sweep that few drivers in history can claim. Byron has now won at Iowa Speedway in the Truck Series 2016, Xfinity Series 2017, and now the Cup Series. And it wasn't by accident. It was built through years of preparation. As Byron explained, when I was a kid, the iRacing schedule would always line up with the racetracks in the summer, so I would race this track a ton in iRacing. I feel like that's why it's a good track for me. I just have thousands of laps kind of in my head with how the rhythm of this place goes. That virtual experience translated to real-world dominance. He led 141 of 350 laps, including critical stretches under intense pressure, and he did it while saving fuel, which added a layer of difficulty most drivers struggle with. The rhythm, timing, and patience he developed on simulators gave him the edge in one of the most complex races of the season. Still, the win wasn't easy. There were 12 cautions total, many in the chaotic final stage. The first incident-based caution didn't come until Shane Van Gisbergen spun on lap 169. After that, the field got messy. Bumps, spins, and strategy errors piled up. It became a race of survival as much as speed. Briscoe was involved in 2 late incidents, one with Eric Jones and another with Tyler Reddick and Christopher Bell. I have to apologize to Reddick and Bell. That was a really boneheaded move on my part, Briscoe said. Got in there and got loose and ruined their day. That's 100% on me. His aggressive driving, while exciting, cost others dearly. Brad Keselowski also had a strong race. He swept the first 2 stages, a feat he hadn't pulled off since 2019, and led 68 laps. He needed the win to secure a playoff spot, but ultimately had to settle for 3rd. His performance, however, signaled a resurgence in form just when RFK Racing needed it. Ryan Preece, his teammate, delivered a quiet but solid 5th-place finish, rounding out a productive weekend for the team. Another standout was Bubba Wallace. After winning at Indianapolis the week before and locking in a playoff spot, Wallace entered the race with less pressure. But an early crash, caused by contact with John Hunter Nemechek, put him 2 laps down. Despite the damage and a broken toe link, he fought his way back to finish 6th. If you would have told me after all that we would have been P6, I would have said, "Yeah, right," Wallace said. It was one of the most impressive comeback drives of the season. Byron's win sent a message to his critics, to his competitors, and to the Cup Series field. Underestimate him at your own risk. He may not be the loudest guy in the garage, but on the track, he's letting the results do the talking. Every decision, every lap, every calculated risk is starting to pay off. Next up, Watkins Glen, a road course, a totally different challenge. But with this momentum and the confidence that comes from overcoming his past fuel misfires, William Byron is headed there as the man to beat. And with Chase Elliott breathing down his neck for the points lead, the stakes couldn't be higher. And one thing's for sure, after Iowa, nobody's going to question his grit again.